Okay, so this is the World War II Museum. This is one of my top recommendations because I'm a history buff. The entrance is 30 pesos. They have their own tour guide. What happened was during World War II, Palawan was a very strategic island for the Japanese and the Americans. Whoever controlled Palawan controlled basically 5 countries: Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, the South, Singapore, Indonesia. So for the Japanese and the Americans, Palawan was a war zone. It was a very important place for them to capture, and this became the focus of the war. What happened here was, during World War II, the governor of Palawan, his name was Governor Mendoza, he led a secret army, and then they ended up killing a lot of Japanese. About 150 Japanese. So the Japanese caught him and they beheaded him. So this museum was started by his son, Buddy Mendoza. He was a World War II hobbyist. He collected a lot of things, and then he ended up putting his own museum. So if you see there, at the end there's like a parachute at the ceiling. That's an actual parachute that they use. That's a Jeep, World War II Jeep. You can take pictures there. And then all throughout inside, this wall is the Japanese exhibit, so a lot of Japanese weapons. On the other side are Filipino pictures and exhibit. And then you have the American exhibit, European exhibit, and then at the end over there is Philippine history. The world's biggest pearl was found in Palawan twice. So imagine, biggest pearl found here in Palawan. So here, entrance is 30 pesos. It's very cheap. They have their own history person in there, and you can take as long as you want. So I've been here 3 times. Every time it's been fascinating for me. The big story was my wife's grandfather. He was a war veteran. I saw his picture here. He was number 2 in the hierarchy. So I was so shocked that my grandfather-in-law was number. So I called my wife, "Do you know your grandfather?" She said, "Yeah, he fought in the war." No, he just didn't fight in the war. He was a war hero. He was number 2 in the army. Remember what happened to the governor? He got beheaded. So if my wife's grandfather would have been caught, he would have been beheaded as well. So my wife went here, took a Facebook picture of his grandfather, number 2, and she spread it to all her family, like, "Hey, our grandfather was a hero and he was number 2. I was more proud of my wife's grandfather than her. So that's a great story. And I remember my own grandfather, he said, "Rye, war is hell on earth. I hope you never experience it again. Forget about the war and the violence. You don't even know where to eat, where to buy food. No one wants to accept your money. The farmers don't want to plant. The fishermen don't want to fish. No one wants to do anything. So you don't know where to grab your next meal." So he told me before he died, "I wish you never experience war ever again in your lifetime." So museums like this serves as a good reminder for us to protect, because now our problem is internet, Wi-Fi, Instagram, organic food, like environment. Me, I'm very basic. Peace. Like, I'm more scared of man than I am of the environment. And let this be a reminder for us never ever to, wage war again, right? Yep, that's it basically.